There's some things I want to talk to you about.
What is that? Don't tell me you're replacing him. You think he's ready? So you think inserting Carlos to be the starting quarterback is going to portend better things for this team?
So I have an announcement to make.
Just wanted to talk after that practice. I feel like we just got to set the tone as QBs. We're the main man of this whole team, and with our QB1 doing this bad, I feel like we just got to say something to him.
Yeah, I feel like after that game that we lost, that was a big loss. All the teammates and everybody else was giving him negative activity, and he definitely took that hard.
Yeah, coach was saying how he couldn't read any defenses, couldn't read any blitzes, and he was just giving them all bad, like only constructive criticism. He didn't know how to take it. He just got aggressive. He lacks communication. His girlfriend was there, which made it even worse. He just took everything that was told to him and just took it with him.
Yeah, he definitely took it hard. I think he was distracted mainly. I think we need to step up and we need to be his real teammates because nobody else understands how to be a QB more than us.
He's not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
I just feel like as other quarterbacks, we just got to talk to him better. I mean,
It's definitely the pressure because that pressure gets to you, and we gotta tell him how to relieve that stress. I was thinking a way on how we could go to coach and tell him about how QB1 has been acting up. I think we should go in alignment and with teamwork and to see what happens so he could give us some feedback. Hopefully he improves it and not criticizes, because with criticism comes like harsher and harder reactions, and I don't think QB1 could take that. We got to keep positive is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel like open communications are our best tactic. I mean, we see a lot of what he doesn't see, and I feel like we just got to tell the coach what we see behind closed doors, because, I mean, the team's only as good as the leader, and if the leader doesn't want to talk or communicate his own feelings, then I feel like that doesn't align with how our team should be working. And I feel like we just got to overall just continue just open communication within our team. Whenever we lose, we all just lock up. We don't want to talk. We're all aggressive to each other. And I just feel like that starts with the quarterback. And I feel like that's something we got to tell the coach. Accountability. We gotta hold ourselves to better communication. We just wanted to talk to you a minute about something that could help the team. We know that the offense might not be in the best place right now, and I think we can benefit from looking at different angles and different maybe quarterbacks even to say. We just want to discuss the change of Carlos maybe taking over as QB1.
We want to make sure that any switching between QBs is done in a way that maintains clarity and alignment. For the offense, our goal is to keep the team conflict and confidence and ensure open communication and make sure everyone knows what to expect.
We just want to make sure that we communicate nicely. We don't want to bash the QB1 because he's been a starting quarterback for almost the whole season, and he doesn't deserve to be bashed just because of a couple bad games. We just think that we need to maybe time this at the right time, maybe at the end of the season, maybe let him play it out. But I think we just need to all together just come together, sit him down, and try to be as nice as we can and communicate the best we can about having a different QB1.
Coach, you want to see me?
Connor, come in. How you doing today?
Good. Yourself?
Been pretty well. So there's some things I want to talk to you about.
What is that? Don't tell me you're replacing me.
Well, Carlo and Lucas came up to me and they both pitched to me that Carlo should be the next starting quarterback.
And you agree with that?
Unfortunately, it's a possibility, and I do agree with it. You haven't been performing as well as I hoped. I had to think about the team first.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, we just need to change some things up. Carlos has a lot to bring to the table, and I think the team can benefit.
You think
from
he's
that.
ready? So you think inserting Carlos to be the starting quarterback is going to portend better things for this team?
I think the team can benefit more on it.
Okay. Listen, that's you're the coach. I'm not going to push back. And I agree that I have not played up to my standard. I have not played well at all. And I am the main impetus behind us losing. And I want this to be a successful season for us collectively. And if you think Carlos is going to be the better quarterback, if he's going to provide better results than me, I will I'm not happy about this. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to put on a front. But again, I want us to be successful. And if you think that's the best decision, I will hold the clipboard and I will be there for Luke and Carlos. And I'm not going to wish that Carlos flops. Will I have some tough moments beyond closed doors? No doubt. But it's my fault. I cannot blame anybody else. I have played miserably. And if you think that's the best decision, I accept that, Coach.
Well, Connor, I appreciate
All right.
you. There's, you can still take that
Yeah.
position back. It's just you
I
got to work
appreciate
on
that.
some things. But
I understand it. All right. I'll see you
Gotcha.
tomorrow.
yes, sir. Have a good one.
All right.
I have an announcement to make. After further consideration, I have decided to bench Connor, and Carlos is now going to be the starting quarterback. I think he has a lot more to bring to the team, and there's no bad blood. Everyone's on board, and I think the team can be successful.
Connor, how do you feel about the quarterbacks thinking you're not fit for the job?
Well, I can't dispute it. I have not played well. Do I wish I was still starting? Of course. I think I'm capable of it. I've worked extremely hard to be the quarterback of this team, and it's disappointing. I want to continue to be the quarterback, but I cannot dispute the numbers. We've been losing, and it's been predominantly my fault. I don't know who's going to replace me, but when the time comes, and as you alluded to, I think it's going to be imminent, I will be there supporting both of my guys, because at the end of the day, it's just a game, and these relationships, I hope, will last an eternity. And behind closed doors, Carlos and Luke and I have established a great rapport, and we've met each other's families. We've been over at each other's house for dinners, and I know them in an intimate level, and I would prefer to be the starting quarterback. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to just willingly give this up. I'm going to continue to compete, and I hope that they would wish the same for me. And at the end of the day, I want the team to succeed, and right now, as I said, I'm not giving this team the best ability to perform. And if Luke and Carlos and the coach and the rest of the team believes that I should be replaced, then for the betterment of the team, I will step aside. But you best believe I will be back. This is not the end of Connor Martin.
Team, I have brought an announcement to the board. Connor is going to be stepping down as starting QB, and Carlos is going to replace him.
I do accept that, fellas. The results on the field do not lie. You guys have seen that. You guys are very knowledgeable on the game of football. Is this disappointing for me? Absolutely. Do I wish I was still the starting quarterback? Of course. I want to lead us to the championship, but as you've seen, I have not been capable of that, obviously. And as a leader, as a man, I have to accept that. And Carlos has been putting in the work. So is Luke, for that matter. I don't want to dismiss Luke. Luke's going to get his chance as well. But as of now, Coach made the decision to bench me. And as I alluded to, obviously, I'm disappointed. I think I'm better than everybody here. I think I'm better than Carlos at my best. I think I'm better than Luke. But the results explain themselves. We have not won enough games, and these are the decisions that had to be made in order to win football games. And Carlos is going to lead us, and hopefully he plays better than what I have, because all of you have worked plenty hard enough to win more games than we have, and I have been the detriment to this team, and this is the results that come with it, and I accept that. But you best believe I will be back. This is not the last of Connor Martin playing quarterback. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
This
luck.
changes nothing though, guys, because we got to work on our communication, our teamwork, and we still got to work hard. So just because it's a new QB doesn't mean your position isn't any different. You got to take it to the top. You can't slack. No slacking, okay?
Fellas, think of this as a new opportunity for us. This isn't just because we're bad. This is a new opportunity for us to grow as a team, just communicate better, and have a better season next season. Let's go.
Team, give a round of applause.
I'm getting benched.
All right, so now on the heels of that, we're gonna hopefully make you more knowledgeable on how to deal with conflict within a group setting in a sports environment, and that bit hopefully as well made you a little bit more knowledgeable on how those things may occur within a locker room in a sports environment. So I am Connor. You're going to be hearing from Nick, Carlos, Joe, and Luke after these first couple of slides that I'm going to do myself. And before we get into it, just a little question that you may want to ponder. And if you have played sports, conflict is inevitable. There's no way you played sports, not even at a high level, but just at all, without getting into an argument or getting into a little scuffle, physical or verbal. So the question would be, how did you handle that? What happened afterwards? Were you able to make amends with that person? Did it portend success? Were you able to actually make that be a beneficial thing for your team or yourself personally, and made you a better person on a human level, and also within the sport you were playing? And now just an overall encapsulation of what successful group communication looks like in a sports environment. And this can be even broader, not necessarily just in a sports environment, but nonetheless vetting all issues or potential issues that may arise. So on the first day, have a meeting, right? Have the leader call out anybody that not necessarily preemptively, but just talk about certain rules that you want everybody to abide by, and that's something that you can reference down the road. If somebody gets into a fight verbally, you can hark back to the fact that, hey, we talked about this. This is what you should be saying and doing. Being empathetic, right? Like understanding that altercations verbally or physically don't happen in a vacuum. There's something that preceded that, or something that happened earlier that day, within some understanding that we're all human, and maybe their cat just died and they don't really mean what they just said, but they're still dealing with that instance, right? So just understanding that we're human, right? Being empathetic, and harking off that is the same kind of premise, I guess, but understanding the context. Where are they coming from? Understanding their background, their culture, right? Especially in a sports environment, you're not all coming from the same lineage. You're all brought up in different environments. So understanding maybe what they said or did wasn't actually trying to antagonize you or get under your skin. They actually had some meaning behind that, and their interpretation of what they did or said is different than yours. So understanding that and going in with an open mindset. And that's the next thing. I didn't even realize that. So let's just move on. But yeah, right. Just having an open mindset, right? Like understanding that maybe your perspective isn't correct, and I understand in this day and age that is hard to fathom, but you may not be right. So going in with that mindset will be beneficial, and just listen, right? Don't try to get the last word in. Listen to what the other person has to say, and maybe you can change your mind and agree with what they did or said, with what they said or did. So now just an example of what may occur in a sports setting, right? So your team believes that their coach is not doing their job well. What not to do? Ignore it, right? It's only going to linger. It's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better if you just all ignore it. I think that's a consensus opinion. Be confrontational. This could actually be beneficial, but only in remote settings, and if you know that coach whatever. Be passive aggressive. Don't be passive aggressive. That's not gonna get to the root of the issue. Let me go back to the confrontational. Like that's, that might make you feel good in the moment. To maybe you're speaking on behalf of others that may want to be confrontational, and you may have that may result in I am lingering on here. Let's move on
to do, subtly ask for a meeting, right? Like behind closed doors in particular. Like you don't want to. Maybe the coach doesn't know that what they're doing is wrong. Maybe they are well intended. They could just be incompetent, right? So pull them behind closed doors and have just a human conversation and say, hey, like, we understand that you're a good person, but what you're doing is not portending good success for our team. You're not helping us achieve what we want to achieve. You're not helping us win. So why? What's going on, right? Like let's have a one-on-one conversation. But we don't need to get confrontational. We can hash this out just with words and on an intellectual level. Deploy empathy, like as I alluded to before. Like just be human. Like don't just come out guns a-blazing, hypothetically speaking, obviously. Bring tangible evidence, right? Like say something substantive. Don't just say bring specific examples like, hey, what you did here was incorrect because of this, and bring real facts, bring tangible evidence.
So what is conflict? Conflict is a disagreement between two or more individuals that arises from differences. These differences can be about someone's beliefs, value, culture, or even spontaneous in-the-moment interactions. While some conflicts start out as minor misunderstandings, if it's not resolved, it can escalate into a more serious issue. It can lead to complications such as violence or even loss of friendship. In order to get past this, one must address the issue and talk about ways to work things out to try and remain in a healthy relationship. Not only that, but there are internal factors that both trigger and repair conflict. Internal factors such as emotions and assumptions can cause miscommunication and intensify the conflict. Being aware of these can help individuals either prevent conflict altogether or resolve it more effectively. There are many forms of conflict, but the ones I'll be talking about are these four. First is conflict of process, which is the disagreement about how to achieve a goal even when everyone shares the same objective. Secondly is conflict of value, which is the difference in which individuals consider most important. An example of this can be money or ethics. Thirdly is misperception conflict, which occurs when people misunderstand each other's intentions, often due to unclear or lack of communication. Lastly, it is interestic conflict, which are disagreements over facts, actions, or ideas, commonly arising when people differ on how to approach a task or hold opposing viewpoints. An example of this can be when two workers disagree on the best way to complete a simple task.
Positives of addressing group conflict within the sports. When a conflict comes up, especially in a sports setting, addressing it is the first thing you should do. If you don't, then it's just going to create tension, and that's what separates good communication in sports and bad. It calluses the team. I mean, some of the conversations are tough. If you're getting benched, if a player's having a bad week, you got to tell them, but those tough conversations, when you repeat them over and over again, they eventually become easy. And it also can create an open environment where everyone feels like they can speak their mind within reason, and you're not scared that you're going to say one thing and trigger a whole teammate. And it also allows no gray areas, no confusion, that everything within the team is out in the open and you know what's really going on. It also enhances real world. I mean, when you're a professional athlete, you have to deal with the media portraying you in a bad way or trying to ask you bad questions to make you seem like a worse person or build conflict between you and your teammates, and it can create trust between you guys. It also builds characters, and it makes you trust with everyone. I mean, when you have these deep conversations, it doesn't feel like you're hiding anything from your teammates. If he's having a rough week and you tell him, hey man, you're having a rough week, and you guys talked about it before, it makes just team communication much better, and it's the positives, and it just allows the team to focus on just winning. So now on the flip side, what happens when you ignore group conflict within sports? Well, the first approach and what you should do is just talk about it, have the hard conversation. But when you ignore it, it can create splinters and fractures in the locker room. This is unresolved conflict between different people and teammates. It can create division within it. It can create bias. Some people are just going to pick sides within the locker room. And distrust automatically becomes inevitable. I mean, how are you going to have trust with someone when you can't even have a hard conversation and you just ignore them, create jealousy that goes unaddressed? And this also would create a selfish environment. I mean, the players don't want to play for the team anymore. They just want to play for themselves. And this is a big impact because it won't just affect the two players. Maybe it's a quarterback that's jealous of another quarterback. It will affect the whole team. And this can create the teammates not doing their job, being more focused on the unresolved conflict within the whole team, and it can just poison the team and bring the team down, especially if there's zero effort to try to fix the problem within the group.
Leaders are paramount within sports. Managers and coaches are invaluable in situations where conflict arises. Their ability to know all their players at a humane level gives them the best ability to resolve conflict swiftly. These figures are necessary for communication and articulate themselves in a certain way, different with each individual, to best get across their message, to best resolve the conflict. Without leaders, teams' ability to comfort themselves without having any real conflict in a high intensity realm makes it almost impossible. Conflict is natural. Conflict within sports with high testosterone individuals is inevitable. And because of that, being aware and cognizant of it makes it easier on those involved to make sure said conflict does not prolong too much where it becomes irreparable. Understanding conflict can also be good with how it utilized, meaning the resolution of said conflict can result in a better, stronger relationship with those involved. Conflict can promote personal and team growth by encouraging individuals to communicate openly, address underlying issues, and develop stronger problem-solving and leadership skills. When managed effectively, conflict can improve team dynamics, clarifying roles, expectations, and boundaries, ultimately leading to better performance.
Now we get on to the slide of preemptively avoid conflict. So basically what this slide is saying, it's basically about stopping conflict before it starts. A lot of the time, problems don't just come out of nowhere, they happen because things weren't clear in the beginning. It's really important for a leader to set clear expectations, like if everyone knows what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to act, there's less confusion. If they don't, there's more confusion, and that already cuts down a bunch of potential arguments. It's not just a one-time thing either. You kind of have to keep reminding people because over time people forget or start to do their own thing. Just going over and over the expectations again really helps keep everyone on the same page. Another big one is dealing with small issues very early in the process. Like, we'll just say if someone's doing something they shouldn't and nobody decides to say anything, it can turn into a way bigger problem later. So obviously it's better to address it right before it grows into like a really big conflict. You also want to pay attention to patterns. If the same kind of issues keep coming up, there's probably a reason for it. So fixing that early prevents a lot of future problems. Lastly, just being like self-aware on how you like talk to people within your tone or your attitude matters. Conflict sometimes isn't even about what you say, it's just how you say it and how you act it out. So overall, from my slide, it's just really about being like very clear and staying consistent and also paying attention early on so things don't turn into bigger issues at a later point. So in conclusion, conflict is very normal. It's always going to happen, especially in sports or group environments, but the important thing is not to avoid it completely. It is knowing how to handle it the right way and the best way. One big part of this is managing your emotions. When people get mad, things escalate very fast, so staying very calm and watching your tone and understanding the other person makes a huge difference. Even just showing a little empathy can cool things down a lot. Another thing is knowing when to listen instead of talk. A lot of conflict gets a lot worse because both people are trying to argue their point at the same time and it accomplishes nothing. It's better sometimes just to step back, listen, and actually hear what the other person's saying. And honestly, in my opinion, not all conflict is a bad thing. If it gets handled the right way, it can actually make relationships stronger and you can learn about each other. You could also fix problems and come out better with a better understanding than before. So overall, I think that conflict isn't the problem. I think it's how you deal with it really matters.